Today I'm going to talk about using a mixed grip for variations of deadlift and RDLs, and what you need to consider if you are going to use a mixed grip, and perhaps why you shouldn't be using a mixed grip. So a mixed grip is when we have one hand supinated, that's facing away from the body, and one hand pronated, so in that position going over the bar. So when we're stood in this position, you can do this now if you want. What I want you to be aware of is how this feels around the shoulder. So with the hand that is facing away from the body, this shoulder is externally rotated, so going out away from the body. Now what this does, this causes the shoulder blade to retract, and you'll feel that in the back. You'll feel that tightness down the left side. The right hand is internally rotated, the shoulder, so it's coming in towards the body. And what this does, the shoulder blade then will protract slightly forward or sit perhaps neutral. But what it's not going to be is in a retracted position. So when we're stood like this, you may be able to feel that you perhaps feel a little bit twisted, or it feels a little bit unbalanced. Now when we go into doing deadlifts with this grip, especially if we're doing lots of reps or lots of volume, and we stay with one hand under, one over, and people will often have a preference as to what feels better, so they do that side all the time. Now what this does, because of the angle of the shoulder and how it's being held, this will actually train different muscles in the back, which can lead to imbalances, which can then affect posture, and also has a knock-on effect down the chain through the body, so other areas end up compensating. So when we're like this, what we're going to get here is that the back muscles, the rhomboids, and the muscles responsible for retracting those shoulder blades are going to be more active on this side compared to that side. What I would advise if you are going to use a mixed grip is that you alternate which hand you're using each set. So we have one set like that, next set we do that way. So at least there we balance it out. Alternatively, what I prefer people to do is to try and stay with a double overhand grip for as long as they can. So this is where both hands are in this position. That way the shoulders are both at the same angle. You haven't got one externally rotated and one internally rotated. They're both the same. This also helps with creating a little bit more tension through the lats as well. Now, what will become a limiting factor often for people going double overhand is their grip, especially on higher rep sets, or if they're going heavy for trying to pull a heavy weight, is that the grip may become a limiting factor when there's still energy and strength left in the other muscles for lifting the weight up. So if this is the case and we want to go heavier, then I advise people to use straps. Now, when you do use straps, what you do still have to respect is that you're not putting the straps on because the weight has ended up being too heavy and it gives you assistance to get it up. It's like we still have to respect proper technique, and we should use straps only when grip becomes a limiting factor, not because technique has become a limiting factor and the straps are going to help us to still carry on training, because that's when people get hurt. Now, if you're a competitive powerlifter and in competition you're not allowed to wear straps, I still advise people to train with straps because we don't want to create that imbalance. Now, of course, we could do the alternating grip each set, but I actually like to use straps with people, and then for the heavier sets, perhaps the last few sets of the day, then we'll move to the mixed grip. So we're still only doing it for a small amount of volume. Now, I will share with you what this may look like if you have some kind of imbalance, and what we would see in someone's back in a simple test that you can record yourself and have a little look at this, see what this looks like. I know about this firsthand because I was the person who did a mixed grip for too long on the same side, and it created what we would call functional scoliosis in my spine, where when I would contract my back muscles, it would actually cause my spine to be a bit twisted. Now, it wasn't an actual issue with my spine, it was just that musculature around it was causing that to happen. So then even when I'd go into doing things like squats and I'm retracting in that position, my body would be off balance because of how the muscles are contracting there and pulling the shoulder blades into different positions. So for long-term shoulder health and overall health, be aware of the pros and cons of using a mixed grip, and consider using straps or staying double overhand for as long as you can.